Yo, so got back from work, eventful shift. Ended up having a conversation with a young lady. We was talking about how much the job is annoying, yada yada yada. Next thing I know, she starts venting to me about, some stuff that's going on at home. She's trying to get her life together, right? Just got through a breakup. She's trying to get back on that journey for self-love. Make sure y'all go check those videos out that I did on self-love. So she's doing that. She's a single mom. Y'all know the rent going up, right? And so the job that she's working, she's trying to make ends meet. So it doesn't leave her much time for her daughters. And so she's struggling with that. She's trying to heal from past traumas, from childhood trauma. And she even told me that she was thinking about sending the kids away so that she could go heal. Because she felt like, I have to heal to present the healthiest and the best version of myself to my children. So I understood that. And then she told me, the crazy part about it is I didn't have a good relationship with my mom. She also, just like her daughter, father wasn't involved in her life. So, she started just telling me a lot of stuff. And then she was like, I'm trying to break the cycle. Like, I have to get right so that I could get my daughter right. So I felt her 100%, you know what I'm saying? And I was very happy to hear that she's aware of what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people in their families, they're oblivious. Either they're oblivious or they're not trying to put the work in to change the family structure. So I was happy to hear her say that. But there's an article that I want y'all to read. It's on Christianity.com, and they talked about generational curses and basically like how some people there's a misunderstanding of really what it is. We're gonna get straight to the word, see what God has to say about it, because there's a scripture in the Bible that people tend to take and they run with, all right, and think, oh, that's the generational curse thing right there. So generational curses, like the concept of it, I think people are misunderstanding. We're gonna get right into it. I got the sword. So let's go. Exodus chapter 20. And in chapter 20, this is, the commandments, Mosaic covenant. So verse 5, it says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." Based on that article and really some of the digging I've done, some commentaries and things like that, looking at this verse, so it says, children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And this is God laying down the laws. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not have no other gods before me, etc., etc. So he's laying his statutes down and telling us what we should do, what it looks like to honor him by doing these things. We know the wages of sin is death, right? And so the way I see it, there's a price to pay for sins, and God will judge us. There's no escaping that. It's cause and effect. If I'm sinful, right, I'm going to teach my kids. They're going to pick up on my habits. I'm living a sinful life. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm living according to the flesh and not the spirit. What fruit am I really going to produce? And so my children are looking at me. I'm doing what I want to do. They're going to pick up on that habit. And when they grow old, they're going to do according to the flesh and not the spirit as well. My son is going to teach his son, daughter, yada yada yada, and it goes on and goes on. So this is why it's unto the third and fourth generation. But mind you, the key word is them that hate me. Really, it's giving you something to think about as how much impact your decisions have that can change the trajectory of your family bloodline for generations. And like I said, she told me she's trying to break the cycle. She wants to stop the generational curse, right? So here's how you stop the generational curse. Like I said, you got to remember in that verse 5, it said, them that hate me. So then we go to Ezekiel 18. This is another one that people tend to know about. So Ezekiel 18, verse 19 through 21. "Yet you say, why doth not the son bear the iniquity of the father? When the son hath done that which is lawful and right, and has kept all my statutes, and hath done them, he shall surely live. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he hath committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die. You want to know how you stop it? Repentance. But if he that will turn from all his sins that he has committed, and keep my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die. So what has to happen is, for us to break the cycle, it starts with us. We got to get right with the Lord. That's the first thing we got to do to get our family back in line. We have to submit ourselves unto the Lord, so that then, as God is cleansing us, God is teaching us, he's going to show us and give us the words to say to our children. He's going to teach us how to fix our household. Once we get ourselves in check, then we go to Proverbs 22:6, where it says, you raise up a child in the way that they should walk, so that when they're older, they won't depart. But nobody is trying to be really with a hypocrite. If you're going to try to check me on my life, that's why I said, like, I was glad that she said, I got to get healthy for my children. Because how you going to try to check me and correct me, and you out here half-stepping? What grounds are you on to be able to tell me what I'm supposed to do? Because this is what tends to happen with kids. Parents want to live their certain lifestyle, and then when they see their children doing it, they want to tell the child, nah, stop doing that, you can't do that. And then what do? They clap back and say, well, you doing it. And how you sitting there looking like, well, I'm grown. Like, with her being so busy, her daughter is even acting out, hanging with a certain type of crowd of people, chasing boys and things like that. So it's like, now she's acting out to get your attention. We have to return back to the Lord to break generational curses. And obviously pray and you ask God and ask him to help you break that stronghold. But we got to get ourselves in check. You know, she wants to go send them away for some time so that she could heal. This is why I keep saying, this is why I make these self-love videos. You have to get yourself in order. Like for me, I'm always trying to figure out how I can be better, how I could love myself, how I could get right. Because I got my kids on my mind. I got my wife on my mind. I want to present to them the best and healthiest version of me that I can possibly give them. And sometimes, to be quite honest, some people don't do that because in their moments when they're single, they party all the time. They're not getting themselves together. They're not healing from their breakup. They're not healing from past or childhood traumas. They're not healing. They're not learning who they are. You find yourself in phases in life where it's like, dang, I got a lot going on right now. And life throws stuff at us relentlessly. Life don't care if you got time or not. Life just gonna start doing some stuff, and now you find yourself in a situation where you scrambling for time so that you could get healthy. So I get what she's saying, but y'all tap into them self-love videos and really because that's why I say you do that before you get in a relationship, so you could present your partner the healthiest version of you. Y'all get married, you could present your child the healthiest version of you, as opposed to parenting with baggage and with luggage. Think that when we don't heal, we project on our kids too. When we don't heal, we'll bleed on our kids. They'll start seeing it on you. The people around you will see it on you, that there's something you're triggered from that you didn't heal from. And things, when you don't learn a lesson, when you don't heal, sometimes things will just come back around and show you that, there's something you leaving here that's not dealt with. You gotta heal. You have to heal. You have to heal from your past. Because like I said, kids are sponges. They pick up on that stuff. Now they living out what you instilled in them. They go out into the world. They're doing things. They're having their experiences. And you just create loops. It's unfortunate. Because as a single parent, I feel like as a single parent, you playing a 2-player game by yourself. At some point, you going to hit that cap where you can't do nothing else anymore. Because God created it. It's supposed to be a husband and a wife and the child growing up in that home in a healthy environment. But you playing a 2-player game by yourself. And so it's unfortunate, but when they get older, they'll understand. They'll have a perspective on life. But one or two things is going to happen. Kids are going to grow older and they're going to tell who's toxic, especially when you're dealing with split homes. And so one or two things is going to happen. You was grinding to provide a better life for your child and they'll respect it. Or if you a deadbeat, if you're someone that's not involved in your child's life, they'll grow up and realize that and they're not going to respect your dream. Oh, and then another thing, yo. This is really for parents who's not involved in their kids' life like that. They in and out. Stop thinking you could buy your kids. It gets on my nerves. It's corny. You think the latest pair of sneakers matters more to your child, or will matter more to your child in the long run than you actually being present? You think a video game, the new P5 or the Xbox or whatever, you think that's what they really gonna want? Because I'm willing to bet when they get older, they would have wished they could trade it all in for you to be present. You can't buy your kids. Because they don't want toys, they don't want games, they want you home. Kids need guidance, they need structure, they need words of affirmation, they need your presence, time. You don't give them those things, they wild out. Like I said, they'll trade all of those gifts you bought them for those things. And when they get older, they'll tell you that, because they're gonna realize they lost out on things due to your choices. And this goes back to the generational curses. You're choosing to live a sinful way. You're choosing to rebel against God. Okay, there will be judgment for that. There will be a price to pay for that. With the generational curses, it's not that God is cursing you. It's God is judging, but the people after you don't suffer because God is making them suffer. They're suffering because you are putting them at a disadvantage due to your sinful ways. You are creating the dysfunction. You are doing things, and your choices, there's a cause, there's an effect. You want to live the sinful life, your kids will see that. They are sponges, they're going to soak that in, they're going to think that's cool, they're going to do it, so on and so forth. And because God has to judge, the judgment comes upon them as well. It's just what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? For her to have these issues with her daughter, it's like, dang, you ended up creating the same environment that you grew up in. So with these generational curses, if I'm growing up, let's say I'm where I'm at now and I'm living a lustful life. I'm having sex with any girl I like. Don't be surprised if STDs and STIs begin to happen. Or can't be surprised, my child is a womanizer. My child is doing the same thing that I'm doing. I didn't get a girl pregnant. He did though. I didn't catch anything. He did though. Or I'm just saying, like, though it may be extreme, or let's say I'm not good financially. And even in that article on Christianity, they gave some pretty solid examples. Like, yo, I like spending all my bread. I'm not good with my money. I'm not a good steward financially because I want to buy all the latest stuff just so I could be relevant, just so I could look cool. Chances are my child will do the same thing. Not saying that's a sin, but again, the concept is that you're creating the norm. And if your norm is a sinful life, they will also have a sinful life. And so on and so forth, generation upon generation. And you can't be dead to sin, but also live in it. You can't live according to the flesh and expect to get the fruit of the spirit. It don't work like that.